Hello and welcome to the Knock On KCLR and Scoreline.ie's weekly rugby podcast. Tom Crotty joins me. We're going to try and get James Blanchfield on. He's just a bit tied up, not literally at the moment, but he might be joining us at some stage. And we'll have to chat to Johnny Tobin next week. He's a bit busy this week as well. But Tom, there's still plenty to talk about. There's plenty of local action taking place. Anyway, the Six Nations, of course, is this weekend. We keep an eye on Ireland, Scotland. This could be it could be Six Nations winning it, depending on how points go this weekend and all that sort of stuff with England and France. But anyway, there's lots going on. Leinster playing. The URC was last weekend. It's flat to the mat, but it's the local stuff we're concentrating on anyway this week. Tom, you were in action last weekend in the Leinster League, 22-6 win over Cill Dara. Before it going up, you were worried. Cill Dara, tough spot to go and always a tough team to break down, but you got the job done. Were you happy with how things went in general?
Yeah, we were we're really happy because like Kildare came down, we lost to them up in Kildare, and their pack were phenomenal up there. They kind of caught us completely off guard, and we got shoved around the place, and we played poorly up there, so we were kind of really worried because they're coming. Like as I said last week, the league is really mad in the fact that there's so many teams could still go down into the relegation playoff position, and we didn't want to be one of those teams, and Kildare didn't want to be either. So it was more of trying to be safe in the league was our number one priority, because once we got safe in the league, we can then concentrate on next week's and the Towns Cup. But we had kind of weird because we sort of had our warm up wasn't particularly wonderful. For nice, was kind of quiet and eerie. But when we got onto the pitch and started doing our team run, things started to click. You could see the lads really coming on. The game kicked off, and Kildare used to put fierce pressure on us. They were down. I have to say our defence was absolutely awesome. They were camped out on their line a couple of times in the first 20 minutes, and they hammered off us. And we drove them back and kept them out. There was, Peel around the corner, and I have to say the lads were just phenomenal. They were absolutely phenomenal. Then it kind of shows from their point of view, they got a penalty then, and around the 20th minute they got a penalty, and we presumed they would have kicked to the corner and gone for a maul, or they would have taken a scrum. The pack dominance that they had, and I think they must have felt they were tired after. They were starting to tire after spending so long trying to attack the line and not score. And I think they just wanted to get something out of that 20 minutes that they've been down. So they kicked the penalty. So that had just it was Max Byrne, I think, kicked their penalty. He grand penalty straight in front of the post nearly. And then we played on again. We were lucky we got a penalty back, and Ben Crotty kicked it over. Then again, just before halftime, they got another penalty, cup it out, and they kicked that, and so we went in 6-3. Second half, then we weren't too particularly worried about that. So kind of second half, then we settled down, and I'd say most of the game was played in Kildare half. We started to get dominance, and the backs after a couple of good moves. Sean Quinlan touchdown for the first try, and Ben converted. That gives a 10-6 lead, and then we never surrendered our lead. Never surrendered the lead from there. Adam Street, generally batsman. We got a fantastic batsman. Back play right across the wing. Adam Strong by name, strong by nature. Mm-hmm. That he hammered over got into the corner, and Ben landed a touchline conversion as well. then we just kind of, we just kind of kept hitting it up and hitting it up and hitting it up. Then we really just pushed forward, and when we pushed down to the final score, and like our lineouts were quite good. I have to say, lineouts did well. A couple of silly decisions again by us about tapping and going with penalties, and we probably should have kicked a penalty earlier on, or where we did a tap and go. But look, I would be quite happy with the performance. That it was a tough game. That's we've had two tough games in a row, like Newcastle. But forwards wise, not the lads were an awful lot of hard hits going in. Really, an awful lot of hard hits going in. But the key thing now is we're safe. Mm-hmm. I have to mention a couple of lads on the team. Again, Tyg Ronan, the young 18-year-old, was phenomenal scrummager. He's getting under pressure at certain times, but as the game got on, he just got more and more and more solid. He's getting probably more experience, because he's played Leinster under 18s, but I mean it's only pushing 1.5 meters where this is the real deal, and is up against hardy, hairier men, and he's really, really pushing out. As I say, Adam Strong had a really good game on the wing. Both Ben and had a good game. Sean Quinlan again. I think our back three played really, really well. Callum Murphy, Ben Crotty, and Adam Strong played really, really well together. Josh Cope came back in at scrum half. Josh had a nice little game. A bit rusty, hadn't played in a while. He's down in Cork, but the other scrum half, Jeff, wasn't available, and he came in, and I have to say had a really, really good game. Really, really good game. The only problem now is we lost our out half. I just want to wish him the best of luck. Owens pulled a hamstring, which is another injury for us. Just sums up the season. That's just keeps going. Just add that up to them. But again, with their stalwarts in the pack, John Nines had a great game. Conor Tracy, poor Paddy Mackey had to come off injured as well, but hopefully he'll be back. Hoping that he'll be back next week for that. But look, on the whole, I have to say, on all aspects of it, I think it was a good game, and just thank the crowd that came out and gave us that bit of support, because it was badly needed. It was. We're happy and we're safe,
Yeah.
Not the perfect win, but it was just, it's a monkey off our back,
Just going to say it, Tom. It means you can look at the Towns Cup now and fire what you can at it.
Well, that's it. You just said to fire what we have, what we've left. We wouldn't be in this position only for the amount of guys that have come up. I just want to say publicly, a huge thanks so far to all the lads that have trained this year, because we wouldn't be safe in the league with any other club got those amount of injuries that we've had. I reckon we'd probably be in the relegation battle or be relegated, because you couldn't. We lost 5 of our starting front row players.
Wow.
And different players over the season. Hamstring, centre's gone, and now we're out. If we were another club without the numbers and the hard work that comes with the lads and the quality, as I say, there's young guys there whose skill levels have improved, and even some of the older lads who've learnt new skills over the last 2 or 3 years and have really improved. And we've Carlow as a whole, the club is stronger because of them. We were not getting a position for promotion this year, but I'm proudest bunch of the crowd that put in the effort all season and have us now as at least look, we're in a Towns Cup quarter final and we're safe in the league. And what more do you want to do? You can't. I know we'd love to be in a playoff for qualification, but a couple of results didn't go our way. It's amazing. 2 or 3 more bonus points and we would have been in a different position, or 2. We lost 3 games in the last couple of minutes of games and they were at home. They were bad losses, and if we won maybe 2 of those games, it'd be a different story. But look, we're happy, but we're happy where we are, and I think any club will be happy getting through this.
Yeah, and you've had a couple of blips this season, Tom, and you spoke about unity, and then of course you had all the injuries, you were missing centres and everything, and it shook up the whole thing. But like you said, there's a lot of good things falling into place this year for Carlow, despite not hitting the goals you would have set out at the start of the season. There's a lot of nice things falling into place, and like you said, the injuries were a bit of a blessing in disguise, for want of a better phrase. Finding these young props, these young lads coming through as well, and like you have them next year, and you have your other fellas coming back from injury as well. So there's plenty to be positive about.
Well, it is, yeah. I mean, we now have we're going to regroup after the season, and look at our whole setup from middies to adults, and just to kind of revive and retain. First things to retain is going to be retaining the players that we have. Hopefully we'll retain as many as possible, and then try and recruit back in those players that have left over the last while, and try and get those back in. But look, we're in a good position, and we've had over 50 something players used this year, so
that's incredible.
You know, that's a huge thing. So, and they've all. We've had a good season, second half of the season in the bar as well, which is, you know, that's important too. And we had, like, after the Towns Cup, gave the whole club a morale boost, you know, and last week too. There's two huge morale boosts for not just for the players but for the club as a whole, because, you know, we went up and we won the first match against Dundalk. We lost the second game, and it took some of the shine off the Towns Cup win, and you know. Now we kind of had that home game and we got it back. We're through to the quarter final, and there's a bit of a buzz back again, and that's hugely important. Yeah. And of course now we've our seconds cup starting.
Leads us on to it nicely. Away to Longford.
Yeah, never a tough place or an easy place. It's always a tough place to go. It's never an easy place to go. We would have loved to have had the game last weekend. Our seconds game against Kildare was called off. They couldn't field their seconds, so it kind of left us. It left us in a position that we didn't. Lads were coming back from injury, and it was guys just haven't had games, and we probably would have loved to have those guys, you know, playing. We would have Larry McGrath, who got injured in the warm up. He was our prop, one of our starting props this year. Got injured in the warm up before one of the last games of the season last year at home. He did his knee, and he's only coming back. So Larry would have got a bit of game time last weekend, but hopefully he gets some game time this week. And Conan Slater, another guy, he did his knee. This at the end of the season as well, and he's only coming back in. So I mean, there's two front rowers back. We'd like to see them back playing and getting back into, you know, fighting away. Maybe if we can get through Tullow more, but like it's one game at a time. Those lads will be hopefully get another chance or get to play a week or the following week, get a run against those. But the key things is the seconds going up now on Saturday. Sorry, it's on Saturday. At 3, it's 3:00 over in Longford. So I try and get a bit of a crowd over. I know they will. I know they will try and get that crowd together and get over there. But I just want to wish Dave Keppel, his captain. Dave has worked like phenomenal all year. It's not easy. It's not an easy task. Being the seconds captain, because you have players going up and down to the first and taking away from you. You think you have your team settled, and then injuries happen and lads are taken away, or subs. We can't afford a sub. You know, when I say a sub that's there at the weekend, you can't afford them to play maybe the seconds game this week because you don't have the main cover on the bench, or there's a load of different factors. And I mean, Davis and his team with Alan Owen Senior and those and Tommy have put in huge effort into ringing around and making sure lads are looked after. And you know, they've also had to fight for lads to to give them game, make sure that they got games and look after the guys who were training. And they've done a wonderful job, absolutely phenomenal job all season. So look, we just want to wish them the best of luck.
Absolutely. We'll stick with Carlow. Tom, we'll go on to your youths.
Youths had decent enough results last week. Across the board, it's now this 18s have they now have a kind of clinch match this week. They had a game off last week, but they have a clinch. They have a real tight match this week. They have to go down and play Gorey. There was had a problem with the league. One team gave 2 walkovers in the league, and there was an objection made, and over the results so all the results were cancelled. So Carlow had to go back and play one more game to get into the semi-final. We were through, but because of the upset that happened, we now have to play Gorey. We just have to win by a point is all.
That's all.
Yeah, Gorey are already in a semi-final, but they still want to win the game. You want to go down there. Gorey want not to lose any game coming into semi-final and final stages. So, the boys, they have a good squad of lads, and Tygo, who played with the first last week, he'll be back playing with them this week, so it'll be a big boost for them. Look, they have a good little squad there, so we want to wish them the best of luck. The under-16 Rhino girls are in semi-final on Saturday at 4:00 against they're against Wicklow in semi-final of the league. So I want to wish them the best of luck. The under-14 girls Rhinos are away to Port Dara on Friday. The under-13s are at home on Saturday to Carlow, and our under-14s are away in the league to Rathdrum, and the under-16s are at home on Friday night at 8 p.m. to Wexford. So a big weekend of rugby from a youth point of view, and and as I say, the seconds are away on Saturday, and then we're back. The club is open on Sunday for the international as well. So anybody wants to go for a Lucasade can go up the club and have a bit of crack.
Absolutely, there's a bit of crack.
And please God, watch Ireland beat Scotland.
Absolutely, fingers crossed. It's always a good atmosphere in the clubs. If you head down, if you're listening to the podcast and you've never dropped into a rugby club, drop into Carlow, Tullow or Kilkenny. If you're knocking around, it's always a great spot to watch the match. Get a bit of grub or whatever, and get your Lucasades and all that stuff as well. Tom, you're going to have to carry the can for Tullow this week. In lieu of Johnny Tobin. 69-26, a big win over Dundalk in the league last weekend. Just sort of reinforcing their strength at the moment and the Towns Cup and otherwise. Now, we know they got through the last round of the Towns Cup sort of by the skin of their teeth, but their league form has been superb. Yeah,
the Tullow have they sort of peaked at the right time of the season, and Morris has kind of said that they've been very lucky with the lack of injuries, that they've had very little injury, and they've kind of peaked really at the right stage. They've got young players back in who are having phenomenal games, and that's a massive win to beat Dundalk at home, by that much. I felt, to be honest, I knew that my heart and soul would tell you that they were going to beat them, but to beat them by that much just shows that the determination that's in Tullow at the moment. They were very unfortunate actually not to win the league, or they could have had the League One on Sunday, only for Wicklow got through by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, I was watching that.
And we actually thought it was over. We thought Tullow had won the league because their match, but didn't realise the Wicklow match for some reason had been delayed. It went on for another quarter of an hour after what we thought was the final score.
Looking at Twitter, going, that must be it. That must be it.
Yeah, that was it. So we presume. So we said, God said it actually would have been a mad league, because it almost would have had us let back in one more point, and we would have been playing Wicklow if Wicklow had lost one more point for us, and we would have been playing Wicklow for a playoff position.
Yeah,
but a tie would have still been in it as well for playoff positions. But look, it's a mad league, really, really mad league. It's so tight from all the way through. But in fairness to Tullow, they've really got their act together. As I say, the young lads that are back in have obviously made a huge impact. And the management, you have to take their hats off to their coaches and management. And I know it has the Sean O'Brien effect has run through. And being honest, we're all jealous. Look, any club would be jealous to have Sean in there, because I don't think there's any other ex-international or provincial player of that standing that would put so much effort into their home club, their original home club, not their adopted clubs. As I say, all these clubs that they represent on paper, they're adopted clubs because they have to play senior club. But it's to see them back in the grassroots. I know Ty Furlan does a good bit there in Ross as well. But Sean is just absolutely ridiculous the amount of work that he puts into the club. Considering his his position with Leinster and so on. So look,
and he's been doing it since the start too, Tom.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
He was going out for minis on Sunday mornings after playing for Leinster the night before in the Heineken Cup. Many's the time that I see it when I had my young one down there. Yeah,
we would be absolutely so jealous. Of course, would be jealous. Look, he's a scourge. He'd be a scourge of Carlow. Because but you can't, hats off. I mean, he's one in a million.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely one in a million. And look, we wish Tullow the best of luck. It looks like they'll have their game against who they're playing, Cill Dara. They're playing Cill Dara away. That will be basically the be all, and
that's it next week.
That's all in win. If they win that, they're going to win the league.
Yeah.
And then there's also we have to play Wicklow. So we hope to go up to Wicklow and give that a bit of a rattle as well.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Well, absolutely. Look, it's the end of the season. But we've only a couple of matches left, and
give it socks. Wicklow's been a bit shaky the last couple of matches as well, so they're there for the taking. Compared to where they started the season, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know what has happened in the last while. Their results have kind of been shady enough, considering the quality that they have playing. So, but look, these things happen to all of us. Like we started well, and then we went pear-shaped for a few matches, and now we're kind of swinging it back around again. So it is swings and roundabouts in rugby.
It is. Tullow's seconds, Tom, are in action this weekend as well. They're at home to Balbriggan. So best of luck to Tullow in the Black Gates on Saturday. All those matches on Saturday.
They'll be hard beat the Black Gates.
Yeah. Absolutely. A bit of a trip down for Balbriggan as well from Dublin, of course. But best of luck to Tullow, and of course Carlow away to Longford. The Tullow women had a 33-10 win over DCU last weekend, so they turned to cup action this weekend. They're in the Paul Flood Cup. They've been going well in the league. Tullow have in Division 1, and they'll fancy their chances are against Clondalkin. That's away to Clondalkin this weekend. So the best of luck to the Tullow ladies team. No sign of James Blanchfield. We're hoping he might join us on the podcast, but Tom, we'll just touch on Kilkenny. Not good news. A loss 41-25 at home to Boyne last weekend. Not what they needed at this stage. It's been so tough.
No.
Second last on the table. There's only a point between them and bottom. They're going to be slogging it out to stay up this year. Again.
Yeah. There is, just looking at here, it's 24-25. Ashburn on the bottom at 24, Kilkenny at 25, and Boyne at 26 points. And then even C Point are up only at 28. So
and Kilkenny have to play C Point away this weekend.
They have to play C Point away this weekend. So C Point will be fighting because they don't end up and they could actually end up in the playoff. I think they still mathematically can end up in the playoff. Boyne's last game. Boyne of Ashburn, am I right? Boyne of Ashburn at home.
Yeah.
So Boyne that's like there's some serious games. That's going to be a serious game.
That's very squeaky bum stuff for the last couple of rounds of the season, I tell you.
Yeah, definitely. I feel sorry for Kilkenny because I don't know what. But sometimes these things happen because years after, it's amazing. A lot of clubs sometimes struggle the year after winning the Towns Cup.
Yeah, and they were struggling. They struggled in the league last year. They fought to stay up last year. Then they won the cup, and now they're struggling again in the league. It's a funny one.
Yeah, because the kind of players, I think someone else kind of think they have, won the Towns Cup, and kind of someone else went off, and I think they're missing a few players in key positions as well. But look, I wouldn't like to be playing Kilkenny in a relegation playoff, because they know that they'll. I watched them last year play Wicklow, and that. And it probably could be Kilkenny Wicklow again if things stay the way they were. If Kilkenny stays second and Kilkenny and Wicklow comes second, it's a playoff repeat of last year. But I don't know. It's I wouldn't like to be a betting man in those two games on Saturday, because they could go absolutely anywhere.
Yeah, Kilkenny obviously in league action on Saturday. Tullow and Carlow in seconds cup action. So Kilkenny is their league game, and away to Sea Point as well. Yeah, Tom, it's a tough one. Hopefully we get James Blanchfield on next week to chat about that, and hopefully it goes well for them. But it's stressful stuff at the moment. Yeah, their women are in action this weekend as well. They're in Paul Cusick Cup action. They're at home to Navan. And of course, there'll be youth action for Tullow and Kilkenny this weekend as well. Tom, before we let you go, we're just a quick touch on the Ireland-Scotland match on Sunday. A lot of hype now behind Ireland, of course, going for the Grand Slam. The Six Nations is theirs, blah, blah, blah. But of all the teams, I think I'll be most afraid of Scotland, particularly away. Definitely, whatever about at home, but playing them away in they're just the way they're playing at the moment. They're able to get in behind teams. They're going really well. Ireland obviously going well as well, but you still be worried about what they could do.
I think it will be squeaky bum time on Sunday, because I think the Scotland are Ireland play really well in set play, and Scotland play really, really well in open play, as in not from just the set pieces, but off the cuff. Finn Russell is just awesome at that kind of off the cuff ball, that you're taking advantage of any little gap kicks through. You give Van der Merwe any space at all, and you're going to be in trouble. Their team, they like to throw the ball around. They're very similar to Ireland. They have no problem throwing that ball around. And if you watched, I know Leinster got the final, they got a massive result at the end of it. But if you even saw the way Edinburgh were playing for the first 20 minutes of their game against
90 miles
Leinster,
an hour. Yeah.
It was a similar game. They're just behind us, maybe at club level, but they're definitely really progressing at international level. And they've quality players. I go through from 1 to 15 and onto the bench. They really have quality. They have quality players, and I would be very, very. I wouldn't take it for granted at all.
Yeah,
especially that's in Murrayfield, and it's a special year for them. They have, it's the huge thing about Daddy Weir, and it's a lot of there's a lot of go behind them this year.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Watch their games. Even their loss against France, a couple of things changed. A couple of things went their way, and they were beating France. So
yeah, it's their ability for Finn Russell to get behind that line as well. Just knows when to pass. Knows where to have fellas and everything. He's playing some of the best rugby he's played in a long time.
Yeah, and he attacks the line.
Yeah. Straight up.
He's please God leave Johnny for Sunday, because we need somebody to attack back.
Yeah,
No,
Is Gibson Park back? Is he ready? I wonder. Just from a speed and service point of view.
Well, I'd love to see Gibson Park back.
Mm-hmm.
Really would. But then again, the last time he played, he wasn't particularly wonderful either. So,
yeah.
But I suppose everything's a risk. I suppose everything's a risk who you're going to play, because do you play Gibson Park, who hasn't played in a while? Do you play Craig Casey, who's going to pull it 100 miles an hour? Or do you play Conor Moore, who's going to, or Conor
Murray experience?
Conor Murray has that experience, but it's not going to give you a quicker ball. It's going to have a totally different game.
Mm-hmm.
I think our pack will deal with them fair enough. And if Tig is back or on the bench, if he's fit, I don't know whether he'll start or go to the bench, but it's just we need him back, and we're going to definitely need him back for England.
Yeah, I'm sure we've lost Finlay Beelum now, so there's a bit of pressure on in that position.
Yeah, I think. Look, to be a betting man, you'd probably say Ireland might just take it, but I don't know. It's
going to be a cracker.
But they'll have to play their best.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of talk about Caelan Doris at 6 and all that. Obviously, they started him at 6 for the Italy match, but like, there's no debate. He's an 8 out and out, and that's it. And leave him there. When he went back into 8 against Italy, sure, the game changed again. Like, he's just phenomenal, number 8. Like, I think we're just trying a few things, but leave him where he is. He's grand. Like,
yeah, we're probably missing Tig Byrne a bit, but
yeah.
He's a big loss. He's a big loss there, and even poaching the ball and doing that dirty work that he does. But look, we've a fantastic back row. We've good solid second rows, and we've a good front row. So there's no reason our pack are well equivalent of them. It's not better. Definitely the back rows. Yeah. We have one of the best back rows in the world at the moment. So
yeah, and the subs and the fringe players are all singing with the provinces at the moment as well, and there's a lot of pressure. Jordan Larmer's doing well for Leinster. All these other fringe players, the Dave Kilkynes and Gavin Coombs and all these lads are flying with the provinces. So
yeah, Kieran Frawley, it's great. It's lovely to see Kieran Frawley back in now as well.
Yeah, he got a good bit of the match at full back last weekend against Edinburgh. He played pretty well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I thought he played extremely well. But it's the young centre is got injured during the week.
Jamie Osborne.
Jamie Osborne is had a slight injury, so he's been shipped in for there.
Yeah, and Scott Penny did something to his elbow as well when he landed on it. As well, so Scott could be out. Scott's been pulled from the international training camp anyway. He was after last week's match, so he's recovering as well. So yeah, there's a couple of injuries there, but great to see Jamie Osborne and that stepping up. There's a lot of people have a lot of good things to say about him.
Oh, absolutely.
Sean O'Brien included, actually.
Yeah, and I have to say, Jamie's younger brother has been picked for the wing for the under-20s for Friday night, which is he's been playing AIL with Naas. And looks has another little bit of a class act. So I was happy to see the two brothers playing really, really well. And both of those are club players. Didn't come through school system. They came through the club system, like Carlow and Tullow, and they came through the Naas system. So it's even better to see. We're delighted, to see club players making it through. It's not all about schools,
Yeah, absolutely. Sean O'Brien, Tig, and all those lads are testament to that. It works.
And Frawley.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, another club man. Scaries.
Yeah.
That's it.
Let's play against them.
That's it. Tom, go well this weekend against Longford and your youth and your Rhinos and everything as well. And good luck to all the local teams this weekend. It's Seconds Cup action for Tullow and Carlow, and Kilkenny have a big match away to Sea Point in Division 1A of the league. Enjoy Scotland Ireland on Sunday as well, Tom. And we'll chat to you next week.
Yep.
Take it easy.
See you now.